please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Meanwhile, RBI's decision to bar banks and other regulated financial entities from trading in cryptocurrencies has caused confusion among investors and crypto entities. Is it legal or is it illegal? Shireen Bhan posed this question to Economic Affairs Secretary SC Garg at the India Business Leader Awards last week, and here's what he told her.
Cryptocurrency or crypto assets, the Reserve Bank saying that RBI regulated entities can have nothing to do with virtual currency. The committee that you're a part of, sir, your recommendations haven't come in yet. So this, for most people, seems to be the Reserve Bank effectively banning trading, at least, of cryptocurrencies or crypto assets. What's the view, sir, then on the part of the government?
See, this is entirely consistent with what the finance minister also said in the budget. Finance minister said that the payment system will not be allowed to be used for the cryptocurrencies and crypto trading. And what Reserve Bank did yesterday is to disengage the payment system from that. So all RBI regulated entities, whether it is banks or credit cards or whatever, will not be used for making payments.
But sir, a lot of people who are already invested in cryptocurrencies and crypto assets were reaching out to us yesterday, and about 1.5 million people in India apparently are invested in cryptocurrencies of some sort, suggesting that this is in a way demonetization of crypto assets or cryptocurrencies. What do we now do?
The cryptocurrencies were always demonetized. They were never the money, they were never the currencies. Somebody was mistakenly treating them as currencies.
So it's a dead asset now in their hands?
No, they can still trade amongst themselves. That is possible. They can transfer. That is what their system is. They can transfer by trading, but they can't bring it into the system by using they can also use cash and other means, but not the banking channels and the credit card.
Okay, let's put this into perspective and understand this further. Manisha Gupta is now joining in with a set of guests with her. Manisha, over to you.
To take the discussion on cryptocurrencies forward, I am now joined by CEO of Belfrix, Praveen Kumar. Also joining us is cyber law advocate NS Napinai. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. I mean, we've heard the government officials themselves talk on how the banking and the system, of course, is out, but this can be still traded. This can be still traded in cash, for that matter. Ms. Napinai, I want to begin with you. What does it really push the traders or investors of cryptocurrencies into right now?
On one hand, Manisha, you will recollect our conversation earlier, and the government stand in effect seems to be validating the interpretation that I had given, that the RBI is specifically addressing itself only to the entities regulated by it. But then let's take it forward to see what it implies. On one hand, the implication is that the obvious implication will be that exchanges are being moved to a cash system.
That's right.
They can either trade cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency or cryptocurrency to cash.
Right.
But that's not a good thing for the government or for the regulator. I have always maintained this position that regulating the exchanges, taking a clear stand with respect to cryptocurrencies is much more viable, whether you look at it from a regulation perspective of monitoring what is happening with this ecosystem, or from the perspective of protecting investors.
So would you say... So, Ms. Napinai, would you say that there is still some clarity, still some direction, regulations awaited from the government or the regulator on this one? Because what we are dealing in, or what we have been left in, is still very half-baked, really.
No, really speaking, all these are just statements that are being made by persons in authority. These are not legal or, they're not legal advisories or notifications.
Sure.
So we definitely have to wait for the final stand that the government committee or the government itself is going to take. A mere statement in an interview will not be binding on the government, and therefore, whilst it may give some direction on where they are heading, and I feel it's good news for the exchanges that the doors are not completely closed on the cryptocurrency saga, but that the government, all that it indicates is that the government is still taking a decision on which way to go, and that after the committee evaluates its position, it will be submitting its report, and at that point of time, possibly, we may get better clarity on the position or stand that it intends to take.
Praveen, getting you in this conversation as well. I mean, we've heard what the RBI had to say during the monetary policy, and over a weekend too, Shireen, the government official has talked about on how it is demonetized. It never really was regulated to begin with. And now at what it has been thrown at, it clearly is in a very grey area, would you say, Praveen? And how are you approaching the whole space?
Absolutely, Manisha, because they have, pushed one industry which they could have had some pretty clear information from the exchanges. They have completely changed that to a grey market as of now. When you don't allow the exchanges to operate over here, and still you don't completely ban that particular asset class. So you allow the people to trade. So the information is not available. Tax authority who wanted to tax these crypto trading or crypto earnings, they are left out with no choices. Now, why they have taken this stance, according to me, there are two cases. One is that there is a capital control issue which they want to manage. That is, if they allow the exchanges, people can easily move the money from here to overseas. Currently, they don't have a control mechanism to arrest that. So that could be one of the major hurdles that what RBI might be facing. And number two is that, they want to adopt blockchain. So if they want to adopt blockchain, people have to experiment on the public blockchain. So if they want to experiment on the public blockchain, they have to spend cryptos. Okay, so without spending cryptos, they cannot experiment. So if they completely put a ban on the cryptos, then most of the entrepreneurs in India cannot do any kind of experiment on the blockchain. So currently what they did was they distanced the FIS away, hoping that the INR will not be converted and will be shipped out of India. And still they will be able to allow the blockchain companies to experiment on that, which is a wrong move. They should have actually taken a proactive step to understand the industry very well, because the current transaction in India is not affecting, the finance system very much, because it's very meager. So they should have, observed the companies which are working on. And another thing is, when we talk about these committees, those committees does not involve any of the industry players. It is again those legacy people who are still advising these, committees that what needs to be done. They don't understand the technology very well, so they don't have a participation at all.
Well, absolutely. Still too many questions and very less answers or clarity is what we are looking at. But thank you so much, Praveen and Ms. Napinai, for joining us. So that really is the verdict right now. It just gets slightly scary from here, because what the government was really trying to do, or the regulator was trying to do, is to take the banking channels away. They anyway do not regulate it. And with what has happened in the latest step, we have seen even more alienation of the people who trade in cryptocurrencies.